Hello world, welcome to United Cuisines, your show for international recipes. In this episode we want to try beef stroganoff, suggested to us by our Russian friends. The legend goes that it was created by a French chef working for the wealthy Stroganov family that lived a few centuries ago in the Russian Empire. Hence we can't assume anything other than it must taste great. So let's make and try some in this episode. You will be able to find all ingredients necessary for your beef stroganoff in your local supermarket, such as a good quality, not too tough cut of beef. We opted for sirloin, which usually goes by rump steak in Europe. Moreover, some button or cremini mushrooms, half an onion, as well as 1/3 cup of crème fraîche, which we prefer over sour cream. Lastly, 2 teaspoons of Dijon mustard, as well as a cup of beef broth. Let's start by analyzing our steak and figuring out how to best cut it into small stripes of approximately 8 mm or 1/3 inch in thickness. Lengthwise, we suggest your stripes to be somewhere between 3 to 4 centimeters or 1 to 1.5 inches. Eventually, your beef stripes should look something like this, maybe even a bit shorter if you are cooking for your children. Continue by slicing the mushrooms and roughly chopping the onion, and let's move over to the stove once done. If you want to serve your beef stroganoff on butter pasta like we did and which we can absolutely recommend, start by bringing some water to a boil. In parallel, place your pan over high heat and sprinkle half a tablespoon of vegetable oil into it. Preferably your pan should be not non-stick to better sear the meat. Once the pan is really hot, season your meat with salt and pepper and immediately transfer it into the pan. Spread the beef stripes all over and make sure to not overcrowd the pan. Consider splitting the meat into 2 batches and frying them separately in case your pan is not big enough. If everything goes according to plan, the meat should sear right away and no liquid will run out, leaving our steaks tender. After 30 to 45 seconds, once the beef is nicely browned, use a kitchen tong to quickly turn the pieces and fry for another 30 to 45 seconds before setting aside. Lastly, a short note on the excess fat that might be attached to your cut of beef. Even though we are a big fan of fat, for it generally adds flavor to dishes, in case of the short frying approach here, the fat will not really have enough time to properly render, so we suggest to discard big chunks of fat for this beef stroganoff recipe. Once you seared and set aside your meat, reduce the heat to medium and in the same pan add a tablespoon of butter and saute the mushrooms and onion for approximately 5 minutes. In parallel, you can start cooking your pasta according to manufacturer's instructions. Your water should be boiling by now. Once the mushrooms start to nicely brown, crush in a big garlic clove into the mix and fry together for 1 minute or till fragrant. Sprinkle a tablespoon of all-purpose flour on top, stir constantly and toast it for 1 minute before deglazing everything with a cup of beef broth. Add the crème fraîche as well as the mustard and mix well. Bring to a slight boil, reduce the heat of the pan to low and let simmer for 5 to 10 minutes till the sauce reduces to the consistency of your choice. In the meanwhile, once your pasta is al dente, shortly drain it and use the same pot to melt a tablespoon of butter and mix in the pasta. Put on the lid and set aside. When your gravy's texture is almost right, season it with salt and pepper to taste and add the meat and mix well. Turn off the heat and sprinkle a tablespoon of finely chopped chives on your beef stroganoff. One last stir and off the stove. Our beef stroganoff recipe can easily feed 2 hungry foodies. Place a generous portion of pasta, mashed potatoes, polenta or even rice on your plate and serve with a few big spoons of this rich and delicious dish. Sprinkle some chopped chives on top and a bit of crème fraîche if you like. And there you go. A very nutritious and delicious dish suggested to us by our Russian friends. Make sure to also share your favorite dish from your home country with us and join our community for more delicious recipes from around the world. And now, enjoy your beef stroganoff. Приятного аппетита!
Oh wow! Very good. Thank you, my Russian friends.
Make sure to hit the like button if you enjoyed this video, and until next time with another international recipe here at United Cuisines.